It's now 6 o'clock. I'm Anne-Marie. Scott is off, and we start tonight with this, a look from above of the aftermath of last night's tornado and severe storms. So what we're looking at here is this is damage near the Monroe and Morgan County lines. Emergency crews today very busy out and about touring the state, especially to the south, surveying the destruction and then helping in the communities most impacted. Here in Marion County, we saw mostly power outages, thousands of them, but this map shows where most of the storm damage was. That was to the south of us in Morgan, Monroe, Owen, and also Vigo counties. So we do have team coverage for you tonight as we check on the areas hardest hit by the storms that came through overnight. We've got our meteorologist Rob Ellis. He's in studio breaking down how the storm hit our state. We also have Brandon Schaff in Monroe County, and we're going to start right now with Ella Rhodes, who's near Owen County, and she's been following up with neighbors in the Gosport area and sending back images that show how hard hit they were today. Ella, it's just devastating, the damage there.
And Marie, it's really hard to see. I want you to take a look at this home off Buskirk Road. Right behind me, you could see a massive tree fell on this left side of the home, but that's not even the worst of it. Their back porch, believe it or not, flew into their front yard right here. Take a look at that. And you can even see that porch swing. That is actually a keepsake of the homeowners that's been decimated by this tornado. I mean, it's just really heartbreaking to see all of this. Take a look at the video we shot earlier of where the garage actually used to be for this home on Buskirk Drive. Now, people, have been cleaning it up all day, but this car was actually salvaged, believe it or not, in this driveway, which is amazing. The homeowner was able to take her car out. Just a few scratches were left on it. Mary Pence is watching her friend's property at the moment. Pence says somehow the car only ended up with a few scratches, like we said, but she was able to keep going. Now, there's plenty of tree branches down here in this lawn as well. She said a lumber company offered to pay for trees on the property, and then they'd also clean it up too, so the costs would balance out. Just because this devastation is so extensive, it will cost a pretty penny for the majority of the homes in this area. Now, Pence is still processing what happened to her friend and her friend's home.
I don't know, I was just in shock. You can see this stuff on TV and in videos, but you don't get the full impact until you come out here and see it for yourself.
Pence said it best. You really, really feel and understand what these people are going through when you see it firsthand. And we also have seen Red Cross crews out here today responding to all of this disaster, as well as many other crews, just cutting down trees and fixing the power lines already. But Anne-Marie, it's going to take quite some time to restore this entire area, but the community's strong and they're rebuilding together.
Yeah, I'm grateful that they survived, no doubt. Thanks so much. Well, as we continue to check in on the storm damage to the south, we want to take you now to the Morgan Monroe State Forest. Right now, that area is closed because crews are working on cleaning up debris in the area. In fact, some of the roads are blocked by big trees that went down. So we're going to check in with Brandon Schaff to see how the work's going there today. Brandon, a lot of work there from the crews behind you.
Yeah, good evening, Anne-Marie. There is a lot of work that still needs to be done here at the state forest here. The road is actually closed. You can see the sign there. And then back here, you can actually see the path of the tornado, where this storm went on Wednesday evening as it worked its way toward the state forest. And here at the Morgan Monroe State Forest, a lot of people here are coming to check out the damage. They're seeing exactly how many trees are down along this path. And as you mentioned, the state forest is closed right now for people's safety. Now, we also looked at how everything looked on the inside of the state forest. Almost every way in and out of the state forest was blocked by trees last night as crews were working with heavy equipment and chainsaws to clear the way. Indiana DNR saying that there were no injuries here, fortunately, and That's good because there were people who rode out the storm at the campgrounds, with one man living in an RV, and he said that the storm, it shook that RV, sending tree limbs flying right into it, and 12 people were also staying at the training center for a teacher academy at the campgrounds here as the tornado passed right through the forest. DNR helping them follow a plan to shelter in place and stay safe. And while the roads are clearing up here, DNR says that coming out to see the damage for yourself is not a good idea.
So even though the roads have been made passable, they are still very dangerous. There's a lot of trees that are still hanging over the roadway. If you don't have a reason to be out here and you're just coming to look, please don't. Please stay home. Please allow that space on those roadways to be open for the crews that are out here working.
And so back out here at the entrance to the state forest, I also want to point out something too. A lot of the damage that we're seeing is with these trees, even the ones that haven't been completely knocked over, they are just halfway cut off right as you can see in front of everybody here. And they expect the state forest to be closed for several days, if not weeks. And NWS will also be going around assessing the damage around here, trying to determine the extent of the storm. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah, that's really unusual damage that you're showing there. Sort of like the top of the trees got cut off and some of the limbs too. It looks like a lot of work is still ahead there in the days and weeks to come. Brandon, thanks for reporting live for us tonight, and safe travels back. So Rob is here with us now. He's been looking at all these images and video that's coming in, and you see a little story in each of these images, don't you?
You do, and that's exactly what the National Weather Service is going to do. They're going to put that story together. So just how strong was this tornado? We don't know, but we're pretty confident in what we saw on radar last night was a tornado. And all of those trees, all of those bits and pieces of trees were being lofted into the air. And that's what we saw on radar. So I want to explain that to you. I want to show you this. The areas that we're talking about farther to the south, we had two debris ball tracks. Debris ball shows up on radar. This one was right along the northern Monroe-Morgan County line. It showed up in a couple of ways. One, it showed up in the reflectivity. This is what we typically show you with rain, but because all of the tree branches and limbs and everything are lofted into the air, they show up like this bright spot because the radar beam is bouncing off of it. You can also see it in what we call our correlation coefficient. This is the debris that we were looking at. The signal was strong. We knew this was on the ground. And this is the result. Brandon had the look from below. Tracy Richardson allowed us to use these photos from above. Look at the path of damage from this tornado. You can see all of the trees down like matchsticks, similar to what Brandon was showing you there, of the path of the tornado as it moved through the forest. Simply incredible. Thankfully, a chance to dry out now. Any showers moving out at the moment. We're expecting to stay dry through tomorrow. I'll show you that part of the forecast coming up.
Yeah, it's good that it was in those more rural areas. Thanks so much, Rob. What you're looking at here is a picture of 58-year-old Anna Torres. She was walking to work last month out on the Far East Side when she was struck and she was killed by a hit-and-run driver. Police since have identified and charged the driver, but he's not in custody just yet. That's pretty frustrating for the victim's family. They talked about it with Rich Nye today.
Investigators believe that Annie was struck on May 10th, Mother's Day, about 2:15 in the morning. Her body was not discovered until a day and a half later in that tree line on German Church Road.
I was actually on the other side of the road looking along that section, and he was on this side looking over here.
Annie's sister Teresa and Teresa's boyfriend found Annie by retracing her walk to work at the Walmart on Pendleton Pike. Police believe a blue Cadillac STS hit her from behind at a high rate of speed while passing on a double yellow line in this wooded area just north of 42nd Street. Annie's leg was amputated by the impact and thrown 83 feet into the tree line.
This needs to be out there. People need to know the seriousness of this, because too many times things are covered and makes it look like it's not as bad.
Police used wreckage pieces, license plate reader cameras, and citizen security video to identify the car and track down the driver as Jalen Donahue. Court records say Donahue hid the damaged car in his garage. Donahue faces charges of leaving the scene of a crash resulting in death and reckless homicide. In Indianapolis, Rich Nye, 13 News.
Coming up, the mayor of Shelbyville now responding to viral comments that he made about his constituents, how he's trying to make amends 2 weeks later.